Hi, this is Sam with the RG Reviews, and today I'm bringing you the Ruger LCR 357 Magnum, a 2-inch barrel, or it's actually 1.875 inches, but it's commonly referred to as a 2-inch barrel or a snub nose. This features a Hogue pistol grip. Right out of the box, it's a very good feeling gun. It is hammerless. And we'll talk a little bit about hammerless versus exposed hammer or external hammer. It's just basically got a U-notch rear sight and a very low profile front sight, so it's not going to get caught on anything. I've worn this inside the waistband. It's not bad to wear. The grip is very easy to grab a hold of. It's very smooth coming out of the holster. I have no complaints in that area. It weighs just over a pound. It's very light for a 357. It's just 4.5 inches high. Let's see, about 6.5 inches in total length. And if I didn't say it already, it is double action, which basically means it's one trigger pull. You don't get to cock a hammer or anything. It's just one longer trigger pull, a little heavier. You can stage this revolver, which is what makes it nice. You can also run 38 special through this, or 38 special plus P. I'll show you. It's empty. The cylinder here, they call it an ion-bound diamond black cylinder. I don't know too much about what that actually means. I plan on doing more research on that. But it's really smooth, no problems. You know, you'll see a lot of people flick their revolver and slam that cylinder away. You're not really supposed to do that. So if you do get a revolver, don't be playing with it like that. You'll loosen some stuff up and it won't be very good. You'll get some cylinder wobble. The cylinder release is very prominent, very easy to get to. I don't think I've ever slipped off that before. It's got some nice grooves in there to keep your thumb on there. As far as me shooting a snub nose, I really enjoy them. So I might have a little bit of a biased view towards how functional they are, but I'm pretty accurate with it. 10 yards. This gun really is not meant to shoot, at distance. This is, definitely an across the table, as so they say, kind of gun. Between 3 to 5 yards. You probably can get accurate shots out past that, and you'll hear everybody. Everybody who has revolvers talk about what kind of groups they get at distances at 50 yards and stuff like that. And but this gun is just not made to do that. When picking up a snub nose revolver, you have to realize what you're getting into. And Ruger makes some really nice revolvers, outside of snub noses too. So if you want to look at something like that, maybe a snub nose isn't the way you want to go unless you plan on carrying it. But the thing about the snub nose is, especially the hammerless, you're getting the ultimate concealability. It's just the capacity. You only have 5 shots, so it is definitely, you don't have a lot of play around room with the ammunition, unless you're really good with a speed loader, and they're not expensive, and you can practice with them and get good with it. But under stress, a speed loader can be hard to operate and line up into the cylinder. But unless you're really good with one, you're talking about you're having a really long time to reload compared to something that's magazine fed like a small pistol. So you have to realize that when you get into it. That's just going to be a drawback, and that's with any revolver, even something that's like 8 shots. And I might be one of those guys that talks about capacity more than stopping power, but I do like options and having capacity. These particular revolvers, the LCRs, come in 22 long rifle and plain 38 special. The way I look at it is I just went ahead and we got the 357 Magnum just because it runs 38 special as well, so why not spend the extra money. The MSRP on these are on Ruger's website are $599.95, but we got ours for $425. And you generally, guns like to sell about $100 less to $150 less than the MSRP on the manufacturer website. I looked up, I haven't had a chance, I don't really have the tools to test velocity, so I had to look up somebody else's test. And I went to a reputable site, gunsandammo.com. They tested Hornady 140 grain, JHP, XTP, and Hornady, and just some regular old Hornady, or excuse me, Winchester USA 110 grain jacketed hollow points. The Hornady came in at 1,086 feet per second, which is 264 feet per second less than it would have out of a full-size gun, and the Winchester came in at 1,110 feet per second, which is 185 feet per second less than a full-size barrel, like 4-inch or 6-inch. And that's something else you got to realize. If you're gonna run a 357, that has quite a bit more recoil than a 38, even a 38 Special Plus P. If you're gonna run 357, you're not really getting the velocity. You're not taking advantage of that velocity of the 357 round out of a snub nose. So in my mindset, you might want to go with a more controllable, 38 Special or 38 Special Plus P, because the velocity is not that much difference, and even the grain weight and bullet is not that much different. You can get all types of grain weights in 38 Special Plus P. There are some other snub noses on the market that are competing with this that are pretty reliable. So unless you're just a Ruger fan, there are other options out there. Taurus makes an ultralight 38 hammerless for $299. And then they have another model called the Taurus 85 for $309. And then Rossi makes a 357 for $349, but that one has an exposed hammer. They also are now making a Ruger LCR with an exposed hammer, and I believe that is called the X. Let me look here. Let me find it real quick. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But they are making this with an exposed hammer now. There's X somewhere after the name. It's still an LCR and can be found on their website. Accuracy wise, people were getting an average of 4-inch groups, with 4 of the 5 shots coming in at about 2.5 to 3-inch groups. So that's pretty good. I believe they did that test at 10 yards. Whenever I look at a snub nose, there's so many out there, and it's such an older design that you have to ask yourself, what makes this gun above the rest? Like, why am I going to go with this one instead of something else that might be $100 cheaper? Why I choose this one over a lot of other snub noses, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's clear once again. You can stage this shot to where you can get a single action trigger pull very easily. You can hear it staging, stop right there, and if you practice enough with it, in the heat of the moment, you're probably not going to have the control to do that unless you are, used to that kind of thing, I guess. But just shooting out at the range, you can see how much more control you can get out of it by staging it. And if you just wanted to pull the trigger, it is a very smooth double action pull. It's not very heavy, or it doesn't feel heavy by the way it's designed. And like I said earlier, this is a very lightweight gun for a 357 Magnum. And right out of the box, it does come with that Hogue grip, which makes it very comfortable. The grip really reduces the recoil. It helps it just sit in your hand, and the rubber that the grip is made out of, it just really binds to your hand well. We've probably shot close to between 400 and 500 rounds out of this, and that's more than most snub noses will see in their lifetime. But there's not too much more I can say about this one, other than I really do like it. I've been able to shoot a few other snub noses, and as they are good, this is probably one of my favorites. Oh, and I forgot to talk about exposed hammer versus shrouded hammer, or hammerless. You might, if you're planning on carrying it concealed, you might want to go with a shrouded hammer or hammerless revolver, just for the fact that that's one less thing to get snagged on something. Now, if you really want to be able to stage your revolver in a single shot and have a hammer back, then by all means go with the one with the hammer. Especially, if you can practice around having to make sure that hammer doesn't get snagged on your shirt, then that's what you got to do if you want that kind of firearm. Oh yes, and by the way, this is called the LCRX. I had that wrote down, I just didn't see it. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's a good buy. It's good quality. Ruger makes a good revolver. They make all kinds of revolvers. Red Hawks, the SP101, Ruger Security 6, Black Hawks, Vaqueros. They really have a tradition of quality when it comes to their revolvers. They're not messing around. Comment, guys, let me know what you think. I'm going to be doing a couple other revolver videos. I just picked up a Rossi 44 mag, a 2-inch barrel, which is very cool. We have a Smith & Wesson Airweight as well that we can do a review on, and I believe that one is hammerless as well, so that'll be a good comparison for that, and they cost about the same, or used to. Well, thanks for viewing, guys, or excuse me, thanks for watching. We appreciate the views. You know, keep the comments constructive, and if, by all means, if you have one of the Ruger LCRs, comment and let me know what your experience is with it. I'd be happy to hear. Well, thanks for subscribing. We appreciate that too. Soon we're probably going to be doing another giveaway. You know, we've only gotten to do one, but we're coming up. We almost have 1 million views. We're like 3/4 of the way there, so look forward to a giveaway when we hit that. Well, take care, guys.